All right, let's start designing our homepage. And I will just come here on my dashboard. And let's go to pages, because I do believe we created a page called home. Okay, we don't have a home page yet. We can just create a new page. What is this draft? Okay, let's add a new page. And we're going to call it homepage. And we're going to start designing it one step at a time. So make sure you follow along, because I will do it in multiple video sections. So I don't really have an idea of how I want it to be, but I do believe by the end, I'm going to have a page that is user-friendly and will reflect all the things that we want our website visitors to know about us as soon as they land on our homepage. So please note that I'm not using anything else. I'm not using any plugin, and I'm definitely not using any custom premium theme or premium plugin that has anything specific that will make this work easier for me. I'm just going to use the default WordPress editor here, Gutenberg editor, which is right here, and I can use this to add different elements, different blocks on my homepage until I get the design that I want. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. So let's just start, and I'm going to click the add block, and I can browse all the blocks that I have. So you can use any of these blocks to add content on your page, on any page or any post. And I'm just going to use these blocks to try and get a page that can be used as a home page. So I can go here, we have blocks and we have patterns. So any of these elements, you'd be able to use them. Just find something that is reflective of the kind of design that you want for yourself, right? So you can have two images side by side. You can have headers, and you see these are some headers that you can have here. And let me just see if any of this is of interest to me. And I'm going to use this at some point. So let me just choose any of these. Let's see columns, what we have. All right. Gallery. Let's go here under headers. And if I was to use this, I'd probably have to do some HTML and CSS to add a button here. And I don't want to do that, because I just want this to be a user-friendly beginner WordPress course. So I'm just going to go back here under blocks. And here under blocks, let me add media and text. And here I can upload an image. So here I can upload an image, or if I don't have an image, or if I already have an image in my media library, I can just choose one from there. But I can just click there to upload. And let's say that's the image that you want there. Okay, so we are a marketing agency, and we can just add a title here. You can change the text. You can just select that, and you can change the default text. If it's not selected, just ensure you've selected on block. And this one, you can even make this one larger. And you may want to add a button there. So let's just see if we can add a button on this side. And as soon as I press enter, it brings this for me, and I can add a button. So to add a button, just search for the button, search for button. And I will add a button here. Here we can say something like read testimonials or view portfolio, something like that. And you can change the button color. If you just click on the button and you come this side on block, you can see down here we have color settings. Perhaps you want it to be that color. Here you can change the button color to reflect your branding. So make sure this is something that at least reflects your brand in some way. So I'm going to choose that color. You can use a custom color. You can add your color right there. If you do know the color code for your brand, you can add that there. click on it again, and you can change the color settings there, and you can change the text color to reflect whatever you want. You can also add a border. If you want the border radius to be something that is big, you can do that. So for me, I can leave it right there at 8. And the link settings, you can just click on it, and if you click there on link, you can add this to link somewhere. And later on, at some point, I'm going to show you how you can link to these testimonials on the page down here, and I can just add an element for that before I end the video. And you can also choose it to open in a new tab. So here, let's add a spacer. So a spacer is just a way for you to create space between elements on this page. Okay, so let's add something here, and you can add something like testimonials, and we can convert this to a heading, and let's make it heading 2, right? And then here I saw something that I can use for this, so just click there to add block, and then I will browse, and I want to add something I saw here that I can use as testimonials. Was it text? Yeah, here under text, I can use something like this as my testimonials, right? And I can put them all in one line like this. So you can put them, for me, I want to put them in one line like this so that they're easier to read and they're easy to browse through. But you can also create columns in here. If you come here under creating blocks, you can create columns. Just click there to search for column, and you can create columns. Okay, and for now I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to click on this, and you can see this has come down, but you can bring this up. Just select it, and if you click this, it's going to bring it up, and we want it to be the title for this. Please note that these are just elements that have been grouped and have been put there for you to use. They're just pre-designed and grouped elements. However, this is just an image, this is just text, this is just a quotation that you can add. So let's duplicate this element, and we can duplicate it as well. Duplicate and duplicate. So this can act as our testimonials. You can just leave them down there, and I will still need to add more elements in here just to let people know what our business is all about. So let's see how we can continue designing this page in the next video. But before we do that, I can just save the draft, or I can even publish. I can publish it. Before I publish it, let me confirm the permalink. Here under page, I can change the permalink. I can change the permalink. Let me just change it to home. And first off, let me publish the page, and then once I publish it, I can preview it. So you can see that I will need to remove this. Let me just do that right now. And the good thing about this theme is that I can remove that very easily. If I come down here under sidebar, I can select no sidebar, and then update it, and then refresh the page, and you're going to see that it's something like that. And so we want a situation whereby this is our home page, so that when we click on that, our home page will show that page. To do that, go into your WordPress settings. Let me come here. Let's go to the WordPress dashboard, and I'll open that in a new tab. And then I will come here under settings and reading. In reading settings, I can change that right here. Your homepage displays a static page. The homepage will be the homepage, the page that we call the homepage. You can call it any page. You can use any page that you've designed as your homepage. And then the posts page, this will be our blog page. This is just a blank page that you created. Just create any page. You don't need to add any content into it, and then come here and select it as a blog page. And just with that, I don't need to do anything here. And if you're taking your website online, of course, you need to make sure that this is unchecked. But I'm offline, so I'm just going to check that and then save the changes. And if I come back here and I reload, now our homepage is a page that we are currently designing as our homepage. We're going to continue in the next video, and we're going to see how to continue designing our homepage so that it can reflect what we want it to look like. And I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. This is where we stopped in the last video, and let's continue on designing our homepage. So let's remove this title, and to do that in WordPress, or at least for this theme, you'll just come here on the editor. If you scroll down, you see this option that says disable title. You can do that and you can publish. And if you come back here and reload, the title will be gone. So in this video, let's add some elements here so that you can create some space between this. And then I'm going to show you how you can link this to this so that when people click on this, it will take them to this part and they can just read the testimonials. So let's just come back here on the editor, and I want to add content. Let's add some content. Let's come here under patterns, and we can just add any of this text content. Headers, let's add a header, and we can add this. We can add something like this. So just note that this is called a cover. This is a cover, but they've added all these already pre-designed elements in it, but it's just a cover. You can even design this yourself just here using the various elements. If you come here and you search for cover, you can design the same element using this cover. We want to add a spacer to introduce space between this, and then here as well, let's add another element, and let's see what you can add. Let's add these covers. I saw something else here, headers. Let's add that one as well. And we can add a spacer to introduce space between this and this. So you can change all this text to reflect whatever you want. So this is a button, and you can add a link to this button, and just as well, you can just click on the button and you'll be able to change the color settings for this button. And to do that, just click on it, and then you come here under blog. You can change the color settings to reflect whichever color you want to use. So my tab has crashed, but this is not a big deal. I can just reload. And let's see the autosave. View the autosaved version. And I can restore the autosaved version. And it's going to give us what we had up to a certain point. Yeah, there we go. So I can update this. And once I update this, I can refresh the page to see how it is now. So we're going to see how we can change the colors for this. But for now, first of all, let's see how we can link this to this section so that when people click on view testimonials, it will bring them to this section. So to do that, just come back here. And the first thing we need to do is we need to create a link for this. And I'm going to click on that title. And then on this side of blog, under advanced, let's give it an HTML anchor. So the anchor, we just call this, let's just give it the title for testimonials. Let's make it a small t. And just with that, if we come up here and we click on this, now to link on any element. So this is how you can link to elements on a page on using the WordPress editor. So what you can do is you'll just click on it, any element, even if it is text, you just click on it and you can add a link the same way. So I'm just going to click on that, and then I'll click on the link, hyperlink, and then I will add a pound sign or a hash sign. And once you do that, you can just link, you can make the link open in a new tab if you want to, but we're going to leave it in this tab, and you can see it says that it's an internal link. So I'm just going to press enter, and as soon as I press enter, the link has been added. So if I update and I come back here and I refresh, if I click on that, it's going to bring me here and you can read the testimonials. So that's just a simple way, a simple trick that you can do using your WordPress editor. So that's pretty much it for this video. In the next video, let's see how we can add a link here, and if you want to change the color for that, and we'll also see if there's anything else that we can add on this page just to improve our chances of search engine findability. If this is your website, you're going to see how you can at least make it search engine friendly so that you can add more text without ruining the design of your page. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. This is where we are at the moment, and you can just edit any of these elements as you see fit, and I'm sure by now you can already see things that you can improve on this design. If that's you, then by all means go ahead and try and add or remove anything that you feel is not necessary for your design. So for instance, this one, if you don't want it, if you want the image to be on the other side, just click outside until the entire thing is selected, and then you can change the position of the image using that. So just make sure you click outside for that to happen. And of course, this is a text. You can change it or remove it as much as you wish, and you can add more text here. Even this can be a link. You can add text and this will be a link if that's something that you want to add there. And if you want to change the image, of course, you'll just click on it. If you want to change this image, just click on it, and then here you can click on replace and you can upload, or let's look at the media library if you have anything. Let's try that, and you see this would not work as well. So just make sure that any image that you add is proportionate to the content area. You can see this is a long image and the images that I've used are not as long as that. I'm just going to reload the page without changing any settings so that I don't lose the image that was originally there. So just as well, if you want to replace this, just click and you can replace an image with the image of the individual who left the testimonial. So just make sure that the image that you add is also proportionate. Don't use very huge images, just something that is small enough to fit something like this and not too big such that it will slow down your page. So what else can we add here? Let's say before testimonials, you want to add your list of services. First of all, let's add a heading, and we're going to add services. So for something like this, we'll use a heading, and of course you want it to be heading 2. And then I'll press enter. So I will browse all, and we can use the same thing that we used earlier for media and text. So for media and text, I can add the service that side, a description, just a bit of the description, and then an image that represents the service on this side. So I'm going to upload an image. Let's use that image. And we can just say the first item that you do here is Google Ads, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called. Maybe that's a service that you offer. And then you'd add a description. Let's go to low rep because I don't want to type. And then I can add text right there. That's the first service. And then, so of course you know your services, and it doesn't matter what I add on mine. Just make sure yours is relevant to your business. And then I can add a spacer, and then I can actually just duplicate this. Where is the duplicate? I can duplicate this, and then I can drag it down. And for this one, let's switch the locations like that. And then I will add another spacer. Add a spacer. And then I will duplicate it once again. Make sure you select the entire thing. Just select outside so that you can select the entire selection. And then I'm going to duplicate it there. I will duplicate it and then drag this down. And of course here I want to add another spacer. So maybe this could be something like Facebook marketing. And you'd add all the the text that you want for that, and the image as well. You can replace that. Let's see if we can find another image. Perhaps that can be for Facebook marketing, and then this, you can just use that for content marketing. This, you can also replace the image as well, upload, and you can use a different image for that. Let's just use that. So let's just duplicate this once again. Duplicate the entire thing. Make sure you have the entire thing selected. And then I will duplicate this and I will drag it down. And then, so for this one as well, let's change it. The image is on this side and the text is on that side. And this one will be just like that. So let's say this is something like website. So maybe in this you offer website design plus branding. So you can replace the image to reflect the image that you want to use for that. So you can see, you can pretty much just design your web page to reflect everything that you do. So I will just click there to update, and then we can come back here to look at what we have. And you can see here now we have our services. And if you want to change anything, you can see here these are too close. So maybe you may want to add a spacer here. So just hover until you see that, and you can add a spacer. You can even increase the height of the spacer and then update that. So for this, you can change the color. Just click on it, and if you want to change the color for this item, select it, and here on block, so just click outside until you find this, and you can see this is just a cover, and a cover is just something that you can use a background image and then add text on top of it. And you're going to see how to do that once we create a service page or an about page in upcoming videos. So if you want to change the overlay color, if you want to change the color for anything here, you can do that. Maybe you want a different color there, you can do that. You can use a solid color, or you can use a gradient color. So with gradient, of course, you'd need to change the colors appropriately. You see, it will change the color there, and just click there, and maybe here you want something that's that color. So you can change the gradient colors of how you want this to appear, and I'm just going to leave it as that as an example. And then for the contact, just click there, and on blocks you can change the color of that as well. Maybe you want the color to be white, you want the text color to be white, and maybe you want the text color to be white and the background color for the button to be black. You can do that as well, just like that. So if you update that, you'll see the changes will be reflected on the other side. That's just something you can do as well. So if you reload, you're going to see that your changes are being reflected here. So for this element here, maybe you don't want to use these headers. Let's see in the next video how we can use covers. We can use this cover element, cover something like this, so that we can make it the headings for this type of situations. So let's see how to do that in the next video. I will see you next time. If you do have any questions at this point, feel very free to let me know. This is where we stopped in the last video, so let's continue. Let's see how we can use covers for these headings instead of using these headings. So let's come back here, and where is the first one? The first one we have is services. So here under services, let's just click there, and we're going to add a cover. If you can't see it here, just search for cover, and we're going to add a cover, and we want to use a color. So since our background color here is white, let's just use white. And so you can change the text color right there. So let's change this services. We're going to use services. And just note that just as well, you can come here and you can change the text. size. Okay, so if you want to use a large text size, you can do that as well, and you can even use custom digits right there. So that's the first one. And perhaps maybe this is too big, you can reduce it. If you want to delete a block, just select it and then click on remove block. And we're going to save just to see the appearance of what we've done so far. And you'll see that this is much better than what we initially had. So you can do the same for all these others. For this one, we did make it a link. So let's see if that's even possible here. Okay, so that's also possible using this. So it doesn't really matter. In fact, let's just change that as well. Let's copy. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to come here, and for this one, I will duplicate this, and you can just drag it down. Let's drag it down all the way here, and there we can add it, and we'll call this testimonials. Copy, and then I'm going to paste it there. Before I delete it, let's copy that. Copy, and I'm going to delete this header, and then I will come down here under advanced HTML anchor. I will add, paste, update, and let's come back and see if our link is still working as it should. So read testimonials. Nice. So you see it's still working nicely. So as I've said, if you want to increase the font size for all that, you can do that. And this is just a much better design. So if there's anything that you want to change on this homepage, feel free to do so. All right. So as for me, using the free theme that I had, this is the best that I can do within this short time. And just remember that I didn't really have any of this planned out. I just decided that this is how it's going to be, and this is the design that I'm going to work with. If you want to change anything, you can even use this as your main header here and just make this link to whichever page. So in the next upcoming videos, let's see how we can design other pages. And we're going to start with contact. We're going to create a contact page. We're going to add a contact form, and I'm going to use a free contact plugin, and everything else that we're going to do in this tutorial, of course, will be with free plugin, just as I've used a free theme. So that's it for this video. If you do have any questions, feel very free to let me know. I will see you in the next video when we work on the contact page, and we're going to come in here and we're going to see how we can design this page by just adding a contact form and letting people know how they can reach us. So that's it for this video. I will see you next time. In this video, let's see how we can add a contact form on this contact page. So this is just a nice way for people who want to contact us to reach us. If they need to contact us using the form, they will just come to contact, and then they will be able to contact us. So in the upcoming videos, probably in the next one, I'm going to show you how you can add and remove the widgets in this area. So to edit the page, just go to edit page. And the first thing I need to do, of course, is I need to add a WordPress contact form. So to add a contact form, let me first of all go back. So let's refresh this page. So to add a contact form, let's just come in here under our dashboard. And to go to your dashboard, you can always just go at the top on your front end and visit dashboard. So we'll come in here and we want to add a new plugin, and I'm going to use contact form 7 for this. There are multiple forms that you can use for creating contact forms, but I'm going to use this, the original contact form, which has been around for many years in WordPress. So it's a reliable one, and you can see it was updated 2 days ago. Activate the form. And so let's come here under settings, and you can create your form right here. If you go on the side, you'll see you have contact form. You can add new and so on. You can even look at integrations. Let's see what options we have here. You can set up constant contact. And if you go to the WordPress repository, you can search for other integrations which are available. There are many plugins that have been created for this contact form, and you can find them for this contact form 7 plugin, and you can find them on the WordPress repository. For now, let's just come here under contact forms, and I don't want to create a new one. I'll just use this default one. So I'll just click there to edit it, and I can just call it main contact form. You can create multiple forms and add them right here. So you can see this, I can just use this as my default, and it's going to give us a form that has all these fields. So if you don't want to deal with this, you can also use the other plugin which I see people love to use on WordPress. Let's go back and plugins, add new. If you want to use a drag and drop editor, you can use this one. Form, just use this one. I'm just going to use this. So if you want to add any of these other fields here, your name, your email, you can see this is an email field. If you want to add any of this, you can do that here. You can maybe want to add a checkbox. Just put your cursor there and click there, and you can add a checkbox. You can make it required or any other options that you want to add here. You can make it a required field if you want to add it, and you can add all these attributes, but I'm just going to leave it at default, and then I'm going to insert, and you can see the checkbox will have been added. So I'll remove this. Any area that you want to add here, you want to add another element here, maybe you want to add a file download, you can do that. Make it a required field. File, give it a name there, a unique name, and then the size in limits for bytes, add that there. Maybe you want the file to be 4 MB, you can add something like 4024, and this is going to have a file size of 4024 bytes, which is around 4 MB, just slightly less than 4 MB. And then acceptable file types, just type the type here. You can put MP3, MP4, whatever files you accept, just put them here and separate them using a comma. And then the ID attribute, anything that you need to add there, and you'll have this right there. Okay, so this is something that you can add, but we don't need all this. We're just going to leave the default elements as they are, but I would suggest just use this one. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can use this. It's much easier to use than contact form 7. So let's just save this. And as soon as I save it, I can just copy this. And if I come back to the page right here, let's see if I refresh this page. Console, let's first of all update the page, and then I refresh this page. I don't know if there's a block for this. Most of these elements usually have a block nowadays. So let's just search for contact form 7. All right, we do have a block element for this, so I can select it and I can choose the contact form that I created. It should be able to show me my form when I come and view it. So let's go to the front end and see if our form is there. And you can see our form is here with our contact elements. All right, so if you do want your form there, you can have it there. Perhaps you may want your form to be in a column, so maybe you want it on this side. What you can do, let's just create a column here. Let's add a column block, column, and we want a column that has 2 sides 50-50. You can choose any of this that you want, but let's choose 50-50. And then is it possible to drag this inside of this column? All right, so yeah, that's possible. So I will update that, and then I will reload, and you can see now your form is just in this column. Maybe on this end you want to add something else. Maybe you want to add other details like location. You want to add your location right here. So maybe you have different offices. So maybe you want to add that location there. And if you come here, anything you want to add here, you can even add a map here. Just go to Google, copy the code, and then you can add it right here. If you want to know how you can do that, just let me know. I can create a video for that. And so there you go. The good thing about this theme is that it's responsive. So even if it goes down on a small device, your location will be located there, and you can add other locations if you do have them. So that's it. In this video, you've seen how you can add contact. You can add a contact form using contact form 7. So in the next video, let's see how we can use this other plugin. Okay, so we're going to see that in the next video. Before I end the video, let's come back here under sampled, and let's go and edit the page. And we want to edit this so that we can have the link to our form. Paste, enter, updates. So if we come here and we go, it will bring us to our contact page. So in the next video, let's see how we can add a form using the other plugin, which is called that. So I'll see you in that next video. Hi and welcome back to another video. In the last video, you saw how to add a contact form using contact form 7. In this video, let's see how to add a contact form using the other plugin. So just come under plugins and then click on add new and then search for contact form and then install this plugin. So I'm just going to click there to install, and then let's activate the plugin. So let's come back to this page. Our contact page. And for now, we're just going to delete. We're just going to remove the block that we added for contact form 7. And then I'm going to update. Then, so you see, you can create your first form, but to get there, just come here under WP forms and you can view all your forms. You can even click to add new. Let's click here to add a new form. Enter the name of the form. Let's just call it main contact form, and then select a template. You can create a blank form. I will choose simple contact form. You can choose any of these others, but I'm going to choose create simple contact form. And it's going to give me the fields that I need. If you don't need any of these fields, just click on it and then delete. Right there we have delete. You can delete any elements that you don't need here. You can delete. If you need to add any other element, you can just drag in another element. Just click there, add field, and maybe you want to add name, put it in there. You can add a name again or whatever you want to call it, but I don't need that. I'm going to delete it. Okay, I want to delete that. So you can see this is a drag and drop form builder that you can use, and very easy to use as well. Maybe you want a number slider there. You can add that there if you know the use case for that. So I will delete that as well. But just know that any of these elements, you can just select it. And then if you come on this side, you can change the content for it. You can even change the name, how it appears. So if you want any element to be required, you can select it as required or not. Or any element here, just click on it, and you can look at the advanced settings as well, just to see what else you can change. You can hide the labels if you don't want the labels to appear. You can hide those as well. And just with that, I don't need to do anything else. I'm just going to save this form as it is. So once you do that, you can just close out of this and you can get back to WordPress. If you want to create another form, you can create another form. Maybe you have a form for different purposes. You can add a new form as well. So let's go back to the edit page, and here let me refresh this because I want to just grab it. I just want to grab it from here. Let's search for form, and you can see we have WP forms. So I will click on WP forms and I will select the form that I've just created, and it will be shown there for me. I can update, and if I come to the front end, you'll see our form is here. And for this, you probably need to make it full width. So let's come back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add another block up here. And to add a block up here, I can just press enter. And then for this one, can I just drag it up? I'll just drag it up there. Actually, if I don't add anything on this, they're just going to self-delete and they will not be replaced. They will not be displayed for me in the front end. So this one as well. I will select and press Ctrl C on my keyboard. And then I will come here and I will paste that. And if I don't do anything with this blocks down here, they'll just self-delete. So for that, let's see if I can remove the block, and that's going to give us this. And I can also remove that block. So anyway, if I don't do anything with this, it won't be visible on the front end. So I can update this, and if I come back here and I refresh, we'll have our form there, and we'll have everything there. So you can add all the details that you want to add here. You can even add them in columns as we did. So maybe location 1, you want to add it in a column, location 2 in another column there, just like that. And you know how to do that because you saw me add 2 columns. You can add multiple columns if you want to. So that's it for this video. In this video, we've seen how you can add a form using WP Forms. In the last video, you saw how you can do the same using Contact Form 7. So whichever form you prefer to use, you can use either. So that's it for this video. I will see you next time. And next time, let's design our services page. Maybe you want to display your services in a page. So just note that you can also add a button here that will link to more services for each of these pages. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. All right, so let's create a services page. So if you're on the front end and you want to create a page, you can just come in here and click on New Page. And let's give it a title, Our Services. You can put an introduction there, paste that, and you can add the services however you want. If you look at the home page, you'll see that we did something like this, and you can do something similar for your services page if you want to, and you know exactly how you can do that. So for me, however, I'm just going to add an image here. And I can upload an image. Let's just use that. You can put your first service there. You can use a normal heading, or you can even use a cover like we did on the homepage. And we'll use a background of white. We want to change the text color to black, or if you want a different color, you can use a custom color right there. So the first service here was Google Ads. Now we are assuming that you want to give more detailed information about this service. So we'll put that there, and then we'll come back here. We want to copy more text, copy add a paragraph, paste. You can even put the image before that title. We want to add a spacer, and a spacer is going to ensure that there's some kind of space between these two elements. And then let me just duplicate this, duplicate, and then I can drag it down after that. And the second service was Facebook marketing. Perhaps you want to give more detailed information about the service and what people should expect. You can do that. That should be here. You can do that on this page, or you can even create individual pages for each of these services, and then you make them sub pages and subheading for services. And I'm going to do that as an example just in a moment. So Facebook marketing, and then I'm going to copy the same content from Ipsum, and then I will paste. As usual, you can add an image just to make it easy to read. So images are nice because they make content on your website easier to read. I will publish this as it is. Publish. If you want to change anything about the page, you can do that on this side of the document. If you close that and you look at the page, you can change all these elements about your page. The next thing, let's say we want to create this as sub pages for the main services page. So let's start with this. Copy, and we can just create a new page and we'll paste that in there. And if you come this side on page, you can make it a sub page for a different page. So if you come to this side and you scroll down, you're going to see this page attributes and you can see parent page. So here you can choose services. The services will be the main parent page, and I can add that, and we used that image. So you don't have to design it like this. You can design it. You can design it in your own way using the skills that you already have. Paragraph, paste. And then we can publish. And when I publish, let's see what's going to happen on the front end. If it's going to get listed under services. So services is not here yet, and what you need to do is just go under your menus, and I showed you how to work with the WordPress menu. So just come here under menus, and you see here we have services and we have our website branding. Add that to the menus. Now this is a footer menu. Let's add it to the main menu item. Select that menu, leave. We don't need to change those. And then I will come here and website branding, and I need to add that. I need to add that to menu. Of course, contact needs to be the last item. Website branding will be under that. So if you want it to be a sub item, make sure you drag it so that it's like that. And we want to make sure that automatically add new pages to this menu item. If you don't want to add pages here automatically, uncheck that, and you would need to come here and add your pages manually on the menu. So I will save that, and when I come back and reload, we should be able to see the page that we've just set up, and you can see that is under it. So if you want the services to be under the main services page, you can do that as well. All right, you can design your page however you want. So in the next video, let's come in and see how we can remove the widget area on this WordPress website that you're building. So in the next video, we're going to see how you can work with the WordPress widget, and we're going to remove all these elements because they are not important for our website. If it was a blog, it would be different, but it is a website with a blog as well. So remember, we did set up the blog. So the blog is actually active because we created a page and we went into settings, reading, and set this page as the blog page. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that so that you can have your blog page as well. So that's it for this video. In the next one, let's work with widgets in WordPress. In this video, let's talk about WordPress widgets. So to work with widgets, you can just come in here, and if you come here on your front end, you can see widgets and you can work with the WordPress widgets. That's the first way. The second way is on your dashboard. Under appearance, you'll find widgets. And if you go to widgets, it will bring you here, and you can drag and drop your elements onto your widget area. So you can see the main sidebar has a search, and we're going to leave search. Even recent posts, we can leave the recent posts. We can delete that, archives, delete that one, delete. And you see this depends on the theme that you're using. So you can add different elements on these widget areas, and this is all dependent on the theme that you're using. Let's say maybe I want to add our form on the footer. So footer section 1, let's select our form. So this is working with WP Forms, and you saw how to create this form when we created the contact page using WP Forms. Contact us. I can save that. Let's see where that is located. So if I refresh, you'll see the other items are gone from our widget area. That was footer bar section 1. Okay, let's move it to a different section. Let's see section 2, which one is this? So this is all dependent on your theme. Maybe I need to enable it on the customizer. Put a widget area 1. Let's put it here. I don't know where any of these are, but you're going to see where they are. So if you want to enable it on the customizer, let's just come in here and we are going to open that in a new tab. And let's just scroll to widgets. So the home page doesn't display widgets. Let's choose a different page that shows widgets. We want to enable the footer widget. So let's go to the footer. So once you're here on the customizer, just scroll down and get to this footer. And then footer widgets, let's see which one we can enable. So currently this is a default, and this shows that the widgets are not being displayed. So I will select that. And once I select that, I should be able to see my footer menu. So that's footer widget, area 1, area 2, area 3, area 4. If you know CSS, you can make this look much better. And even if you don't want it there, you can definitely remove it. Background, you can change the background. You can change the background to match your branding. And I will publish that. So this is just a sample site, and you can do whatever you feel like doing with your site. So you can see there we have that, and then maybe here you want to put something else. In these other widget areas, you can add other elements if you want to. So let's come back to the widgets. Let's come back to our widgets section. Since we have enabled the footer widgets, you can just add any element that matches your design. So just choose whatever you want to add. You can add some text there, maybe some form of disclaimer, and then save, reload. So from what I can see for this theme, apparently if I need to add this widget, I have to do it via the customizer all the time. All right, so let's just do that anyway. So I'll come here on the widgets and footer area widget 1. We already have one, WP Forms. Footer area widget 2, let's add a widget. And for this one, let's add text. Where is the text? We can add arbitrary text, and then I will paste, and we can just put their disclaimer as the title. So for this theme, if you want to add a widget on the footer, you have to do it via the customizer. Then we'll say done. Let's scroll all the way down, and you can see that is there. You can add another element in the other footer area. Let's just add a search. You don't have to add all these elements. Any element that you don't add, it will not be shown on the front end. And then footer widget 4. So unfortunately here we don't have social media icons, but you can use a plugin for that. Let's see. So you can just find a plugin. There are lots of plugins for that. Perhaps there you want to add an image. You can just add an image. Maybe you're trying to advertise something. So let me just use this. I hope it's not too big. We'll change this. We'll change the size. Medium. And then link to. So here you can change the link where it goes. I'll just click none. I'll just select none. And then I will save. And then I will publish that as it is and come back to the front end and refresh. Add a widget. Let's use image. Add image. So click on it. Ensure you have all these alt attributes for your images. It's good for SEO. And then we'll add image. You can edit the image. You can add a link for this image. Maybe you're marketing something. You can just add the link to wherever the landing page for that is. And then I'll publish. And then refresh. If you don't need any of these elements on the page, you can just remove them and they will not be shown on the front end for your visitors. So in this video, you've seen how you can work with the WordPress widgets. In the next video, let's see how we can add our logo. So you can see our logo is of this shape. So make sure that the logo that you want to add is of a similar shape. And I'm going to create something that is simple that I can add here. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video when we add a logo up here. So I'll see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back to this video. In this video, let's see how you can add your branding up there. So I've created these 3 images and we're going to use this. We're going to use this as our icon. So for your icon, make sure it's something that is a square, okay? Something that is a square. And then your logo, you can design yours in a manner similar to that, in that aspect ratio, because that is what will work well with our theme design. So make sure it's something that is like that so that it can work and match well on your site. So to change this, you need to go to the customizer, and you can go to the customizer right away by clicking there. But I do believe you're already on the customizer somewhere here. So I'll just close that. And I can go to the customizer, just click up there. You can also go to the customizer just by coming here under appearance, and then you go into customize, okay? So let's come back to the customizer here. We need to change header site identity. So under header site identity, select a logo, and I'm going to upload the logo that I just created here. Let's use the smaller one. Make sure you add an alternative text right there. So I can add something like sampled logo. Enter. And you can see even this one is not working well with my design, with the theme, but I'm just going to expand it all the way so that I can get the entirety of the design. And then I'll click on crop image. And there we have our logo. And then the next thing we want to add is the icon. So site icon, that's the one that usually appears on the browser right here and is also shown here. So if you add one, that's where it will be shown. So let's select an icon, and I'm going to upload one, and make sure it's in a square format, all sides to be equal, and I think they usually suggest 5 by 12 pixels. So make sure you design one in that manner, and mine was 600 by 600 pixels, and it still works okay for the design. If you scroll down, we don't want to see this text. If we scroll down, we can remove that. Display site title, we don't want to do that. We don't want to display the site title, and you can see the logo is still big. So let's see if I can change Okay, I can reduce the logo width right there. So you can just reduce it down to make sure it is of a reasonable size on your site. As soon as I do that, I can publish and come back here, and I will refresh. That's pretty much it for this site. So for this store, let me just remove that. It's on the menu and we don't have a store. You can add Woocommerce. If you want to add a store to your website, it's very easy. Just add Woocommerce, add your products, add your shipping details, add your payment methods. There are lots of payment gateways, plugins that are available for Woocommerce. I will save that and I can go visit the front end. And now you can see, if you see up here, your site has a site icon. So make sure it's something that at least reflects your site somehow. All right, so that pretty much marks the end of this tutorial. If there's anything that you think I should cover and I didn't cover, just let me know and I can create a video about it. As I said, the website is on my local computer, so if I need to edit anything, I will edit it for you. Just let me know what you need added and I can do a tutorial about it for you. I will see you next time. If you have any questions, feel very free to let me know.